RCT is a leading law firm in Thailand.
I'd like to be in RV&HB because of long history of the company.
RV&HB and RV&HB is a family.
If you want to learn, if you want to be a lawyer, a good lawyer, you have to be here.
We distinguish ourselves in being a firm that is not essentially an American firm with offices overseas or a British firm with offices overseas, but we started as a firm overseas. Bangkok, Santo Domingo were the overseas offices and the principal offices of the firm. Bangkok remains today the largest office.
Well, I think every office in Asia and elsewhere follows a very similar pattern.
Lawyers from the European and American backgrounds would work together with local lawyers so as to be able to provide comprehensive advice to new foreign investors that were coming into the country.
Probably the first and maybe the first several lawyers are foreign lawyers, either American, Australian, or others. We've always had the practice of hiring local lawyers as early on as possible. Eventually, in virtually every office, local employees become partners.
The first American partner who headed the office after Charlie Kirkwood was Albert Chandler. Around mid-1980s that I became the head of the Bangkok law firm.
I stayed in the Dominican Republic for 4 years in order to get the office initially off the ground. And when I left, one, Luis Heredia Bonetti, was made a partner.
I'm most proud of the fact that we have made an impact in every country where we have had an office. We were there early enough. We were there at a time when we could shape the way the practice was developing.
The Dominican Republic 40 years ago had just recently concluded a long dictatorship, and there had been a civil war in 1965.
The United States had intervened in that with American military troops to try to separate the two sides that were involved. And in that process, the Dominican economy was severely interrupted.
So all the emergence of modern democracy in the Dominican Republic, as well as the business climate, the diversity of the economy has happened over the last 40 years. So quite dramatic change, undoubtedly. Our work with governmental institutions, advising Congress at time in the drafting of laws, also the participation of the partners and the associates of the firm in civil and community activities towards the improvement of the state of law in the Dominican Republic has helped.
The Taipei office opened in 1976. The Vietnam office had just closed because of the fall of Saigon during the war, and the firm wanted to maintain a second presence in Asia, and Taipei was the opportunity that we had. Oh, Taipei has changed a lot. From 1976 to 2009, it's gone from being part of a military dictatorship to a feisty democracy. It's gone from an environment where there was a Cold War with mainland China to one where today you can fly to Shanghai in an hour and a half. I think the thing that's unique about practicing in our firm, particularly in a Taiwan environment, is that the integration of the development of the law with the development of the political environment and mainland China relations. I often tell people that working in Taipei has simply been like taking an elongated lesson in political science.
You get to participate in a very real way in the lawmaking process. You're in a position where you can make comments, you can make recommendations on draft legislation. And I don't speak in the past tense. We still do it.
In 1988, we have this fellow, Mikhail Gorbachev, come to the surface. And he decides that he's going to reform the Soviet economy and invite true Western investment into Russia. I went to my partners and I said, we need to have an office in Moscow.
The practice of law here became with each year more intelligent, Western style, clients focused. Definitely we learned a lot from our foreign colleagues, in this case particularly from my friend and partner Jonathan Rasin.
The firm definitely contributed to development of both Vladivostok city and Primorsky region by introducing modern legal schemes to possible projects. It has changed in every sense. It's become more attractive for foreign investments.
Vietnam has been on the headlines for the last few years. It has become one of the fastest growing economies, at least in the region, and we've been part of that.
The laws are changing almost by the month to fill out a legal structure, which 20 years ago didn't exist at all.
Many of the places that we have offices, there is great corruption. The legal systems don't work. Judges are subject to being bought off. Political influence can be used against your clients.
It is very, very important for us to be able to demonstrate not only to our clients but to our lawyers that we are not going to participate in any way other than through the law.
Our objective, our vision is to help clients achieve the best results within the boundaries of the law.
We've gone from an environment where there was a large amount of political influence to an environment that has become rule of law.
You don't have to participate in corruption.
It may be the way things are being done, but it's not the way we're going to do things. And if our clients are going to do it, we're not going to act for them.
I have never had a discussion with a client with regard to a corruption act.
It has never happened to me because they know that I work here.
They understand that if they are a client of Rosin-Beckey Heredia Bonetti, Rosin-Beckey Heredia Bonetti will not engage in those type of practices.
If you would like to work in the challenging cases, you have to work with us.
One doesn't have to work for a larger firm to get involved in big transactions.
All kind of work comes to Rosin-Beckey.
Our colleagues from other law firms were jealous why Rosin-Beckey, not known on the Wall Street, just closing so huge transactions.
Direct interaction with the client. That's one of the main features of being able to work with Rosin-Beckey.
As a boutique firm, as I said, we're closer to our clients, their matters and their projects. So
I get to learn the nature of the client's businesses, and it's very rewarding because now I can think business like not just legal.
This is an office of open doors.
And we share our experience in different fields of law.
Everybody shares knowledge and ideas and opinion when delivering the final opinion to clients.
It's easy to communicate with each other, to participate in various projects very closely.
And all the existing partners in international law firms in Thailand now are trained by ILCT. And partners and senior associates takes time and effort to train and help younger associates.
We can work closely with all the partners, and the partners with more than 40 years experience can train us very intensively.
Is having the opportunity to work with people like Dr. Luis Heredia Bonetti, George Santoni, Dr. Rosin.
What we're looking for in younger lawyers are people, first of all, they have to be very good lawyers, but they also have to have the imagination and the drive and the interest to take upon themselves the wider advisory role that we generally play for investors.
The importance is to be able to manage a project, make independent decisions, and take responsibility for those decisions.
People here are extraordinary.
We are not only colleagues, lawyers, partners, but we are friends.
They are great professionals, but are also great human beings.
Clearly we are at a point where there's a new generation of lawyers that's taking over the management of the firm. And I think it's still early to predict what directions they're going to want to take the firm.